Hello. Good morning, everybody. I hope you're all doing well. I actually wanted to get on here before I head out for the day. I'm going to go hiking because the weather is cooling down here, so I can actually hike again. But I wanted to get on here and do your forecast for the full moon, which is tomorrow evening, and it is in Aries. So um, let's get into that. But before I do that, I just want to clarify something on my channel here. I am a ancient astrologer. Okay, I don't practice modern astrology. In fact, there are 85 different ways to run an astrology chart. So, with that being said, yes, when you run a chart in 85 different modalities of astrology, you're going to get different placements. Now, the reason I bring this up is because not that I care, but I just kind of find it humorous. Some of the comments, especially with King Charles, I posted a video about the fate of King Charles. I posted about Princess Diana. Hey, Kate, how are you, hon? Happy Saturday. I posted, and so here is, I'm just going to make an example out of this individual because we can tell that this is a troll and not a real person or even an astrologer. I am truly amazed at this reading. First of all, you got his chart completely wrong. He was born at 9:14 p.m. at Buckingham Palace, England. Well, if you go look at that chart, um, he was born at 9:14 p.m. I did get it right. So, and Buckingham Palace is a place. London, England is located in um, Buckingham Palace is located in London, England. So I'm not sure where this person's going with that, which has him as Leo rising in Pluto in his first house and has no planets in his seventh house. He also doesn't have any planets in his sixth house. So what health problems are you talking about? His Saturn is in his second house, not in his 11th. Second, you accuse him of having something to do with Diana's death. Be very careful in your accusations. You could be breaking the law. Okay, you're just a fucking moron, is what you are. I'm going to give you your 5 seconds of fame just to make fun of you, because we all did. We all got a good laugh at you. Um, Clearly, this is a monarchy sympathizer. For those of you who have really studied the history of Great Britain, you would know that a lot of them are Nazi sympathizers. Um, God, what was his name? The one who abdicated the throne back in the 30s. Anyway, the bloodlines of the monarchy are not only inbred, a lot of them, but there is a lot of Germanic bloodline in them. There is not much Anglo-Saxon. Uh, and that's a fact. You can go and research that. Go to Google, look it up. Okay, that's not me making that shit up. That's real. Information is at the palm of your hand with the internet. So there's no excuse for ignorance and stupidity. And as for my accusations of him, uh, most psychics that are very good, most astrologers can see the celestial pattern. Okay, this is not new news. We all know the monarchy did what they did. Okay, I give the monarchy less than 50 years and there won't be a monarchy anymore. And as for Charles, he's not going to serve the people well. Yes, the dragon will be moving into his sixth house. Now, the head, as of July 18th, 2023, moves into Aries. That's sitting on King Charles's sixth house. Now, just because the dragon's head sits in the sixth doesn't mean he can't have health issues, especially with it being in Aries. That represents Mars. That can represent flare-ups of some sort. I know he has problems with his hands, but I'll be perfectly honest with you. Charles will probably abdicate the throne. People don't like him. They don't. And after looking at his stars, he is the lizard of Scorpios, not the eagle. He will not serve great. That's just my astrological opinion of him. On to say, you sound very prejudiced and seem to be drawing towards Diana. And no, I am not British, but I am an astrologer, and I am seriously puzzled as to why you would be putting up a wrong chart or even trying to translate all the houses, planets, etc., which is totally wrong. Now, yours is a channel I will no longer listen to. I cannot take you seriously. So that's fine. All you did is let the garbage take itself out. I explained to this individual that there are 85 different ways to run an astrology chart. And in those 85 ways, they will put certain planets in different houses. I'm going by the 16th century divine Nostradamus method. So clearly, this person is a fucking moron. Okay. And I am going to make fun of you and I am going to belittle you. You don't like it? Fuck off. I'm done with people and their ignorance and their stupidity. I know. Elizabeth's brother or uncle, I believe. Yes. What was his name? Oh my God. What was his name? Anyway, abdicated the throne. And then Queen Elizabeth's father took over. Oh, what the hell? I don't remember. Exactly. His hands are so swollen. Okay. This is not something I wish for. As much as I'm not the biggest fan of the monarchy and Prince Charles or King Charles, I wouldn't want death upon him. It's just some of you are just you're robots to your own stars. You can't handle the undiluted truth, and when it's presented to you, these are possibilities. But I will tell you this, Charles, less than 3 years, maybe 4 if we're lucky. But I think he's going to abdicate the throne. That's what I think is going to happen to him. The great seer himself actually saw this coming as well. I'll get into that another day. But yeah, you're right, Kate. His hands they're just awful. Awful. So, you can go back to see my reply to this individual. I'm going to tell you, with a Mars in my third house in communication, I have the gift of ripping someone a new asshole quite well. And I'm just going to say that. Hi, Jessica. Aw, it's quite an ugly face, but thanks. So yeah, you can go back and look at the video of Prince Charles or King Charles that I did, and you can comment and the reply back to this individual. And I've had a few others. Let me just say this, because some other idiot on here was mentioning, oh, I watched too much of The Crown. Let me just tell you a little bit about myself. Okay. My Canadian ancestors settled from the United Kingdom. We're one of the first settlers to Victoria, Vancouver Island, British Columbia, back in the 1800s. So if there's one thing I know, it is British history. I've studied it quite a bit. Okay. Now, with that being said, I'm not close to any of my dad's side of the family. I speak to none of them. I want nothing to do with them. And that's for reasons I don't really know how to explain it. They're colonizers. I know what they did to those native tribes up there in British Columbia. I know. So I don't want anything to do with these people. I was raised by my mother's side of the family, so I'm pretty much Italian. I'm half Italian, raised by Italians. I know nothing else but that culture and those customs, but I have studied a lot of British history, so I do know quite a bit about the monarchy. Okay. So when people come at me telling me, oh, you sound like The Crown, let me tell you something about that show, The Crown. They got it pretty right, especially if they were causing quite an upheaval um, with how Diana was portrayed. Truth is truth. And I'm going to say this about the late Princess Diana. I don't think she's crossed over, even though it's been many years now, over what, 20, 30 years? She has not crossed over. Her and Dodi's souls um, roam free. I think she had finally found her soulmate with Dodi Al Fayed, but because he was brown, that was an issue. The monarchy has always been a racist establishment. Okay, always has. They're colonizers. You go ask the people of Jamaica, go ask the people of Ghana, go ask the people in India about Great Britain. So for those of you who want to come on here and be idiots and do this, first know your history, know your facts about astrology, all astrology, and that there are 85 different ways to run a chart. So in my method of astrology, Prince Charles or King Charles may have placements that are different from, say, a Palladius method or a Vedic method or even a Babylonian method. She is still with us. And I do think, Kate, that she is protecting Harry and his wife. There's some sort of an angelic protection there going on um, because of the way his wife is being treated. Harry's wife is a beautiful, beautiful woman. And um, the monarchy has always been racist, okay? Um, I can guarantee you the comments that were made about Prince Harry's wife and the children, because they were complaining that they might have babies that are too dark. I guarantee you that was coming from Charles and Camilla. Okay. Just by looking at Charles's stars. And this person who came at me, I took it down, was complaining that, Charles had his Saturn in the 11th house, and that's not true. His Saturn is in the second house. Well, who did Charles marry? What is the 11th house? The 11th house is the house of friends and wishes. And when you have Saturn sitting there, you usually have older friends. And who did Charles marry? Yes, he is. He's a brat. That's being kind. But yes, he's a brat. He's a spoiled freaking brat. Charles's Saturn was in his 11th house. This means he was always drawn to having older friends. And who did he marry? His best friend Camilla, who is an older woman. She's a couple of years older than him. That makes perfect sense. Now, having his Saturn in the second house, that's one of the worst placements to have Saturn, because you know what that means when you have Saturn in your house of money and you are a people like that are misers with their money. They're very Ebenezer Scrooge. They don't give a shit about anybody. Oh God, yes, thank you, Kate. And Lochin, hello. I know who you are, so I won't give out your real name. But you're right, Charles is a brat. But Camilla does have some dark energy attached to her. Her eyes are very scary. I'm going to do her chart in a couple of weeks. I've been so busy I'm doing a lot of progressive readings this time of year. And since I've been running a special, not on progressives, but I had to extend my sale. I'm running a 15% off sale on all of my product in my stores. So even the clearance stuff is an additional 15% off. So you could walk away with a 4-inch selenite one for under $2. I will, for sure. I will tag you. But we're here today to talk about the full moon. It's good to see you too, Demon Fairy. That's what I call you. You'll always be my Demon Fairy. Anyway, I just wanted to get on there and explain that to you guys. I kind of find it funny because I come on here every day and I look at comments from people, and clearly nobody went and looked at Charles's chart because I'm being corrected on the time and I got the time right. So I do realize that in psychology, uh, especially nowadays, the human attention span is 5 seconds or less. So with that being said, that explains a lot about humans and how they operate. But we're here to talk about the full moon forecast for October 9th. Yes, tomorrow, Sunday. At 4:55 p.m., this is Eastern Daylight Time, we're going to have this full moon in Aries. Now, this is also called the Hunter's Moon because of its bright orange glow, and how it rises at sunset. And it usually lasts throughout the whole evening until sunrise the next day. Now, Aries is the Lord of War. He's ruled by Mars. He's the warrior of the zodiac. And it's positive. This is the warrior of the zodiac. And this is where um, you want Aries in your life. They're there to fight for you. They will back you up. Personal note, I get along great with the women. I do not get along with April-born men who are Aries so much, especially if they're like born with a Pluto in uh, Leo. Then they're the baby boomer generation. And they see women and the way they treat women is just, ugh. That doesn't mean all Aries. No two Aries are alike. When you have this warrior of the zodiac where aggression, violence, and negative developments can take place, this directly referring to the Ukraine and Russia, there could be dramatic news happening there. Also in regards to China, nukes, NATO, and I'm not going to mince words, World War III. Now, I'm going to level with you guys, and my Patreons know this. If any of you are in there that are in Patreon, you saw my last video. I said that I saw World War III breaking out in the next dragon energy when the dragon nodes move into an Aries Libra tail. Do I think we're starting? Yes, I do. I think we're in the beginning phases of World War III. I'm not going to mince words. It's disturbing. Yesterday on the news, the United States Food and Drug Administration bought $200 million worth of um, radiation pills, iodine pills. That's alarming. President Biden said we haven't been at this high level of alert for nukes since like what, the Cuban Missile Crisis of 1962. It's frightening. You also want to keep your eye on China, okay, and Taiwan. Now I'm going to explain to you why China wants to take Taiwan in a minute. Hold on. There is a very high possibility that in these next 2 weeks, we will hear of either more explosions and wars, death, violence. Distressing news usually comes from places like, remember, Aries. It rules certain parts of the country, Germany, Scandinavian countries, Denmark, countries like that. So we will hear possibly distressing news in those areas. Now, the full moon is on the United States' 10th house. That's the house of public spotlight, goals, and accomplishments. We're going to be very challenged these next 2 weeks as a nation and the world at large. But the energy will be difficult for most of us. I'm very worried about this full moon as its energies create unconscious humans with rash thinking, impatience, and a complete lack of self-control. Road rage comes to mind in this energy. So this energy can bring out one's impatience and aggressions, especially souls that are born with a very strong Aries or Mars placements. This includes myself. I have Mars in my third house. The third house is communication. I could speak as nicely as I can to you, or I can turn around and my tongue becomes poison. Yeah, yeah, I know that side of me. I could rip someone a new asshole in a New York minute. Bada boom, bada bing. So I've got to watch my tone, my tongue, and how I speak to people as well. So wherever you have Mars or Aries placed within your star chart, just know these are red flags that we need to be disciplined. Think more like Aries polar opposite Libra. Diplomacy. Speak not as harshly. It's going to be hard to do, and we're going to be challenged as humans with this moon, but we're going to have to do it. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Let's see. To protect the thyroid. Okay, there's a lot going on, and I've seen destruction in my cards doing universal readings, and I'm seeing persecution of people all over. Yes, yes, um, I agree. I agree. Um, I'm going to talk more about something in a minute. Okay, it actually has to do with Australia. Not nothing bad, but I don't. There has something to do with finances. It happened in England. It's getting ready to happen in Australia, or it already has with something. I take a lot of economic classes and cryptocurrency classes. So I'm not only being educated in the spiritual, I'm also being educated in the mundane. And some of the things that have come across my way are absolutely disturbing. But let's talk about the United States first and what I was saying here with Mars placements. When we have many of us these next 2 weeks are going to be rushing around, making quick decisions and fast paced will be on the agenda. That's Aries energy. It's not slow energy like Taurus energy. It moves, it goes, it's there, it's here, it's here, it's there, it's going everywhere. And these next 2 weeks are wanting moon phases. So sit back, get what you need to get done, but don't run around like a chicken with your head cut off, okay? It will get done. You know, I have my taxes to do still. I'd gotten an extension, so I got to do that this week. There's a lot of things I have on my to-do list to do and get done. And pace yourself. Take deep breaths. Can't get it all done in one day. There's always tomorrow. Remember that. I just said this. Watch your tone with others because, like Aries, with an Aries energy, we can come out like brute force with people. So now on the more positive side of Aries, this is adventure. This is bravery, new inventions, setting plans into action, creating new ideas, and making bold moves. However, we're in a wanting phase. We don't take action in a wanting phase on certain things. This is all about planning your next move because the next new moon is also a beautiful solar eclipse in Scorpio. Scorpio rules finances. So setting these intentions in place now, moving to getting things planned for your plan of attack on October 25th is going to be perfect. Um, Aries full moons can create devastation with bad weather, fires, even social unrest. Just watch the news and you're going to understand what I mean. I put this in big, bold writing on my website. Do not purchase firearms or weaponry at this time. Believe it or not, guns, knives, swords, claymores, those are all ruled by Aries energy. When you buy those things in good stars, they will always protect you. You may never have to use them, but when you buy in bad stars, no bueno, not good. You will end up using them to protect your family. You will end up, they may even be used against you. You see a lot of problems happen in shooting ranges at this time because the stars aren't blessed right now to be using firearms, to be purchasing firearms. Aries new moon, waxing moon, Aries, perfect for buying firearms. It's almost as if when you buy them in the right stars, you enchant your firearm. I know that sounds crazy, but you do. You almost enchant your firearm with protection. I go a step further. I put mine on my altar and I do some spell work with the firearm to get off all the energy that was on it before, because you don't know who's looking at the gun, testing the gun. You want that residue off. You want to clean it off. So even firearms, you enchant, you get the negative off. There's a lot of things yep. Oh, that's right. You're in the middle of moving next month. Oh boy. You'll be fine. It will go smoothly. No worries. You got this. Okay, where was I? Bear with me. I got to get back to my. So yes, do not purchase any firearms, no knives, even cutlery, like going to buy steak knives. Wait until the new moon. You won't get a good deal on them anyway. Now, I told you guys I took this down off of TikTok because when I make a mistake, I can admit I've made a mistake. My head is not that big where, I could sit there and go, I didn't make that mistake. I did. This is me doing 20 million things at once. On TikTok, I put it, and boy, you guys sure let me know. I mean, all those private messages I get, some of you, it's like, Jesus, people are human. Shit happens. You make a mistake. We had so many planets in retrograde, and we still do. But as of yesterday, though, or as of today, Pluto in Capricorn has gone direct. Okay, so many have transformed from this retrograde. This has been a long retrograde, and usually when we have Pluto going into retrograde, it's really about diving deeper into the occult world in some way, deeper knowledge of things. And then by the time we come out of this retrograde, we have transformed from this retrograde and we've learned many new things and discovered things about ourselves and grown along the way. It's about a growing process. The next planet this month that stations direct is going to be Saturn. And that's on the 23rd. I made a mistake and I said 2003 in January. That was wrong. I owned up to my mistake. We can all breathe a sigh of relief as fewer responsibilities are going to be imposed upon us. Anytime Saturn goes retrograde, we end up taking on more responsibilities. And we are being tested when it's retrograde to set boundaries. And those boundaries we have set in place are going to only make us stronger. I had to set my own some boundaries with certain things. They didn't like it, but tough shit. People will walk all over you if you let them. Remember that. Something I've discovered about the human psyche and humans, not all, but there are people that are users and abusers. And if they can use you and abuse you, they will continue and continue and continue till you set boundaries. Or if I put them in a jar. The witchy humor. Sorry. Anyway, we've set our boundaries. Those retrogrades are almost out. We still have a few other planets. Now, everyone thinks Mercury went direct on the 2nd, but actually it's not until the 10th, which is 2 more days, Monday. And then we're out of complete retrograde season. However, October 25th, we move into eclipse season. Now, all souls are going to feel this energy by house and sign, but especially my fire signs, my Aries, my Leos, my Sagittarians are going to feel this energy the strongest. And of course, those born with the dragon's head or tail in Aries, moon, sun, and rising signs feel this energy most. Also Libra. Libra, you're going to feel it too because it's your polar opposite. And when we have a polar opposite, what it means is polar opposites see life as their polar opposite. So I'm Capricorn. My polar opposite is Cancer. I do see life as Cancer sometimes. I'm always making sure everybody's fed, and I'm cooking and security for others and this and that. Some Cancers see life as Capricorn, and they're always climbing up that corporate ladder. Same here. Libra can see things as an Aries, and Aries can see things as a Libra. So when we have these energies, you always want to look at the polar opposites. So Libra, you will feel this energy as well. There you go. Put them on ice. Yep, I do that too. In fact, I've got to tell you something before I move on. A little witchy humor. I went to the grocery store the other day, and my husband was putting stuff into the freezer, and he found like some old Ziploc bags, frozen solid with paper in them. He goes, we don't need these anymore. No, 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 no. Put them all the way back. Just leave them in the back of the freezer. And he just like looked at me like, what? I go, just don't question me. I put somebody's chart. I put them in ice and I threw them in the freezer. Okay. And Jessica, I know. I put somebody's chart in the freezer. Now, this wasn't really a client per se. It was someone I did a freebie on. And I could just tell after doing the freebie, they just were taking advantage and taking advantage and taking advantage. And it's once again setting those boundaries. And when I went out the person in a very nice way, and I said, look, I gave you a full life reading for free because you were homeless and had issues. That's $150 value. But now you're wanting more and more and more and more from me. And when I said this to them, they got very nasty. Now, I know this individual has a lot of scorpionic energy in them. So I threw his ass in the freezer to cool down. So yes, my Patreons, I am going to show you guys this month, because this is the month of witchcrafting, how you can do spell work with a astrology chart. Contrary to what I've heard them say on TikTok, hold on, Jessica, why is that message? I can't see your message. There it is. Yeah, I had to do it. I had to just throw his ass in the freezer, and it was like, I give of myself to others, and I will go above and beyond for somebody. But when I give you something for free and then you ask for more and more and more and more, and do my mother's chart and do this. No, you know what? Do I have a sign, Christian charity? I'm not running Christian charity. A mystic has to eat too. But I was watching a thing on TikTok about how I kind of find this funny, because there's a lot of people in the witch community on that app that really have no understanding of true esoteric knowledge. And it's one thing to learn witchcraft and hoodoo and all the other aspects of it, but esoteric knowledge is esoteric knowledge. And when all you're doing is adding that to your arsenal of knowledge. So when I learned astrology, it was a little out of my realm, but it was still esoteric knowledge. It's perfected my magic 100%. Now, I watched someone, and I'm not going to mention her name. I know who said it. He said there's nothing, there's no power to astrology. There's no, you can't do anything with it in witchcraft. That is so wrong. So wrong. Oh, I'm going to have to go. I haven't been on TikTok. I didn't go in there this morning. I did for a few minutes, but I'm going to have to go and look. But yes, there is nothing more powerful besides having physical DNA, blood, hair, saliva. There's more power, not just in physical DNA, but celestial DNA. When you have a person's celestial DNA, I mean, I could look at someone's chart and tap into their weaknesses. If I was an incredibly evil person and I wanted to do really baneful magic, no, I know what you meant, Demon Fairy. I understand that completely. I get it. Um, when you have their celestial DNA, you can do a lot of baneful shit or a lot of positive shit with that chart. You get to see where their weaknesses lie. You get to see where their strengths lie. You can break down their chakras. You can break down their psyche with that energy and that information. So when these little baby witches or whatever they are come in here and think that that is not true, fuck around and find out with me. That's all I say. Fuck around, find out. You could do a lot. So anyway, Patreon, my crones and Patreon, I'm going to show you how to do magic with an astrology chart. I will be using 2 astrology charts as an example for you on Patreon, and one will be Donald Trump and the other one's probably going to be like Matt Gaetz or something. As an example, I tried to pick like 2 big pedophiles, and those are 2 of them. So but yes, it's such a misinformation about the astrology chart and how it's not used in witchcraft. I'm doing very well working spells with it. I will do that in the next week or so. It will be before the solar eclipse, Jessica, I promise. Jessica, right now I am working on the deity of the month, which is an archangel. I did one demon once and I lost like 3 people on Patreon. So I don't do too many demons anymore, unless my Patreons request it. And I get it. There are people in this world that just can't see the concept that you can't have one without the other. They're a polarity. People lose their shit. They're indoctrinated. And I get it. It happens. And I actually covered a nice demon. It's not like I covered one that can be harsh, like Volok or something. I covered demon Amy, or Avnerus, which is the demon of astrology. And it was freaked the hell out of people. So I'm like, okay, if you really want to know more about angels and demons, I highly recommend occultcourses.com. Go look for Bal Kudman's courses on the 72 demons of the Goetia and the 72 angels of the Sheopham. God, I think I don't know if I pronounced that right. Very enlightening and very educational. Probably one of the best courses I've taken. So once I took that, I had a little more understanding of both of them. And there are even people that do work with demons that also keep a sigil of the angel, the polar opposite angel. They use the angel as the conduit because they feel safer. So it's just misconceptions, right, Kate? And people don't realize. Exactly, Demon Fairy. We come from a generation of witches that only had books and references, and we couldn't go to our phone and get the answers instantly. That I agree. It's just the information is different that back then than it was now. There's instant information now. That's why, because there's instant information, when you have idiots that come on my thing and do that, post stupid comments that make absolutely no sense, you can tell that they haven't educated themselves. They're jackasses, in my opinion. But you're absolutely right. Okay, so my magical folk. Now, it is time tomorrow night. Get out your moon water, and make some moon water. Tonight, I am going to do 4 crones, going in to do a spell for you guys on how to attract, not wealth, but I'm using a red candle. And even though it's a job spell, it's going to be how to attract opportunities. That's the word I'm looking for. How to attract opportunities to come your way. So I'm going to be doing that tonight. But Aries full moons are perfect for dealing with magic, dealing with any kind of authority, promotions, leadership, strength, power, and self-control. Um, this is the perfect time to do any kind of spell work where if you're looking for a promotion, this is the perfect time to do that spell tomorrow to get a promotion at work. I am very fond of Aries energy and Mars energy for baneful work. To bring pressure to thy enemy and using those powers of Mars for baneful work is absolutely perfect. This is also a good time to help any kind and heal ailments of the face, brain, and head area because Aries rules the head. Now, this is strong masculine energy, so use it to your advantage. All of my witches, all of my practitioners, use this energy to your advantage. Make moon water. Aries moon water, I have found, because I have a whole collection of moon waters, and part 3 for the crone is coming with the moon water as well. But Aries moon water, yes, you can use the moon water in healing rituals of the head and the brain. But you can also use that moon water in baneful magic. You can use it, a drop of it, to pinch out a baneful spell with the wick. There's a couple of things you can do with it. Only when it's wanting, the wanting phase is when I say to use it for baneful purposes. But full moon too. I know there are people out there, oh, you should only do baneful magic and after the waning moon. That's not entirely true. I've created some of the most beautiful baneful spells during the first new moon phase. So it's not what's the word I'm looking for? Stop listening to a lot of people on TikTok. I find that most of the information on there, not all of it, but 80% of it is not true. And there are some great content creators on there. Unfortunately, the garbage weighs out the true ones. You know, Kate, my link is on here on the main page. You know what I'll do right now while I'm here? Hold on. Let me go to my main page. I'll throw it in. As we're closer to the eclipse, I will be running another Patreon special, but hold on. Patreon. Here we go. Hope my daughter's not too loud. I can hear them both in the background. I'll post it right here. The crone one is $10 a month. And when I run the specials, you guys always get fostered into those specials. The mother tier is the $5 a month, and that is mostly astrology stuff. Excuse me. I don't do a whole lot of crafting on that one like I do the other one. And also, if you are a Patreon member, and I'm getting ready to launch a class on crypto in the next 2 weeks, I'm almost done with it. My daughter's making a PowerPoint now. My Patreons are going to get that class for like $10. It's going to be about 40 or $50 to the general public. Maybe. I haven't decided yet what I'm going to charge that. But Patreon, it will only be $10. I wanted to do it for free, but I've put so much time into this that I can't. It's kind of consuming all my time, and it's taking me away from doing other things. Like I'm very backed up now with my Patreon, my crone ones especially, because now I got to do a part 3 on water. I've got to do a deity. I've got to do a spell tonight. I'm got to show them how to, do spell work with the charts. So I am running a little bit behind, but I will get to it. What I'm going to do after I get off of here is the weather here is starting to really cool down. That's probably why I don't have any makeup on right now. Is I'm going to go on another hike. I'm going to go hiking again. 8 weeks ago, it was about 90 degrees, and now we're in fall and it's a nice 74, perfect for hiking. When I go and hike and I get out into nature, it kind of clears everything. It grounds me, and then I can get back on here tonight for the crone. Jessica, I wanted to know, should I do this spell live on Patreon tonight? Or I only have about 11 of you in Patreon. I'll be honest. I have a small platform. I have 11. Once I did the demon one, I lost a whole bunch of you. I lost like 3 or 4 of you. So I don't always do live ones because I'm usually in there alone, because everyone's time frame is different, just because, 8 a.m., 8 p.m. may not be 8 p.m. for somebody else. So let me know. I'm going to post that in the Patreon as well. So where was I? Here we go. So magical folk. Yep. Don't forget to make your moon water and charge all those crystals in the moonlight. Aries full moon water is great for any kind of ailments of the head. I said that, but it's also great for job finding. It's also great to add, when you're doing spell work to get a promotion. Perfect. Leadership, even baneful working. Now, I did not mince words with my Patreons when I posted this. And I actually thought about not saying anything here to the general public, but they get the full forecast. That's the one thing Patreon does get. Aries, full forecast, Taurus, all of that. You get a paragraph of each. But these next few weeks are always rough when the moon is full in Aries energy. It never fails. Many of us are going to experience added aggravation and even aggression. We all must take a deep breath and not let the aggressive nature of this moon get the best of us. Try and steer clear of any arguments or intellectual debates, as they'll not go well in a full moon in Aries. So for all of you out there who are on TikTok, because I think my days are numbered on TikTok. TikTok tries to silence me with certain things. You're going to see in the next 2 weeks full-blown fights coming in on Patreon, or not on Patreon, on TikTok. Because people are robots to their own stars, even in the witch community. People don't realize they're under a jurisdiction of a certain energy or a certain planet or a certain sign. So try and steer clear of any intellectual debates with people, any arguments. Just delete and block, delete and block. It'll save you aggravation. It won't elevate your blood pressure. Sometimes no reaction is the best reaction. And I'm learning this as I'm getting older. In my 20s and 30s, this is not something I learned. But sometimes you can say something without even saying a thing by not even replying. Sometimes no reaction is the best reaction. It's the biggest fuck you, you're dead to me attitude. Now, the next few weeks are going to be hard on the world at large. I highly recommend you stick to tasks that benefit you, your family, yourself, and your home life, okay? Like I said, next few weeks going to be hard on the world at large. And what I've feared the most through the years could literally become reality. I'm going to do the stars of Putin next week for you guys. I've done them a long time ago, and I don't know if I have YouTube anymore. But I'm going to do the stars of Putin, because if he has his way, he's just going to nuke the hell out of everybody. He just doesn't give a damn. This is an individual, when Putin's backed into a corner, which he's being backed into a corner. I don't know how to explain it. I don't have his chart right in front of me, but when this individual is backed up into a corner, he has a lot. This is an individual with a lot of pride and a lot of ego. He's being humiliated right now because he thought he could invade this country, Ukraine, and just take it over in less than 5 days, not realizing that the country itself is a Capricorn nation. The leader has balls of steel, Zelensky. So he's going to take it the next step and just nuke them. And we're on that possibility of being nuked too, you know. Um, the next few weeks after the full moon are going to be stressful, as I'm seeing the beginning of World War III stages starting now. Now, what's funny is my Patreon get my predictions every year, or not every year, but every 18 months when the dragon shifts. The next dragon is shifting July 18th, 2023, moves into an Aries Libra tail. I think we're in the beginning stages of World War III. I think full-blown World War III isn't going to start till late July 2023. I also saw Putin either dying or getting really sick or being assassinated in 2023, July, after July 18th. But with Putin, I've got to go really look at Putin's stars before I make any assumptions here, because the energy constantly changes when we have things moving through the stars and planets. But Putin, the dragon's moving through Putin's second house. That's the house of wealth and money, possessions. It's also self-esteem. So for Putin, his self-esteem is shot. You know, he's embarrassed in some ways. He's not going to show that. So the best way for a dictator to get over that is to kill millions more people with nukes. Now, you could see NATO flying around through Germany, Sweden. This is frightening. This is very frightening. Putin did a draft. Half the men left the country. They don't want to fight. And a lot of those people are in the dark because of the news media. He's not giving them the truth. So that was my prediction for the upcoming Aries Libra Dragon entering July 18th, 2023. But I do believe it's the beginning stages are now. Now, Putin is in danger of being overthrown or assassinated by his own people, as he demands a draft of the Russian men to fight the war that they don't want to fight. Like I said, he's been backed into a corner. His stars indicate that he can and he will use nukes if he has to. He either will get sick and get killed. This is another prediction for 2023-2024's dragon. Now, let's pray that doesn't happen. I don't want anyone to really get killed. I mean, that's just not in my nature to say that. But I would rather see him get overthrown than see him resorting to nukes. There are top officials in his cabinet that are saying, hey, what the fuck are you doing? No, number one, he is depleting Russia's economy. And my crypto class that I'm going to be talking about talks about that economy. All the superpowers' economies are falling right now. Before I go on to China and Taiwan, we've got Russia's economy falling. We have United States' economy falling, even though right now the US dollar is at its strongest. That's not going to last. Great Britain, back on the 27th of February, faltered. The Bank of England crashed. Australia had some sort of issue going on with bonds. There was something, was doing something. Demon Fairy, you might know this, love, being an Australian. Something was going on with their bonds, and their money system was having an issue. When all the superpowers of the world's money starts faltering, it's a wake-up call, not just in the mundane financial world. It's a wake-up call. That does create, all countries are unbalanced. All countries are vulnerable to the financial aspect of this. Now, moving on, let me go see if you guys are saying anything. Able to see the live. I personally like your pre-recorded both. No, I like pre-recorded too, Jessica. So that works perfect for me. Okay. I do like the pre-recorded myself, and that gives others the opportunity. Like you said, you're not around tonight. Some people are, some people aren't. I get it. So I'm just going to continue on with the status quo. Okay. I appreciate that feedback, love. Yeah, I can think of a few too, Kate. I don't waste my energy on them too. And lately, the things that I'm getting in trouble for on TikTok have to do with sex trafficking, um, religion. I think TikTok is a Christian entity. And that's what's attacking people. And it's not, um, when I say Christian entity, let me rephrase that. The white nationalist Christians, that is the detriment. I really don't think these people have read the Constitution at all. I don't think these people can read. Anyway, keep an eye on China and Taiwan. This is a very heated situation taking place right now, and it has to do with something called semiconductors. Yes, you heard it. Semiconductors. Taiwan is the largest producer of semiconductors, and they produce 60% of the global manufacturing of semiconductors. You may say, what is a semiconductor? Well, a semiconductor goes in a great many things. I have one in my satellite dish up above. Semiconductors go into cars. They can go into computers. There's a lot of things semiconductors are used for, mostly in the car industry and digital satellite industry. But I could be wrong. It could be used for other things. You go research semiconductors on your own. A China takeover is going to be a big win for China. First of all, the materials that are made from semiconductors, those minerals that are in there, you can only get them in China. Those minerals are abundant in China, Taiwan, and on asteroids. Now, the other day when they were deflecting that asteroid away, I could bet money they were also mining for minerals on that thing to create. They need those minerals. I don't remember the name of them. It's a very long name, but there's certain minerals that go into those conductors, precious metals. So if China takes over, that's going to be a big win for China and not so great for the rest of the world, especially the USA. This is why Biden did that thing with the chip a couple of months ago to make chips here in the US. That is why he's doing that. Now, the full moon has its positive attributes. And we have liberating moments where through meditation, through the active mind, can transcend many things and bring clarity, new realizations, and new perspectives to be on the table. Of course, I say this every full moon in Aries, but it is true. Okay. So try and have a very blessed full moon tomorrow. Enjoy your family, enjoy your home. Focus on the important things in life, is what I'm trying to say these next few weeks. Home, family, getting things done around the house. Just be safe, watch the stars. My Patreons have those red and green light days, and you get those days of caution. You get the days of caution. You get the universal dragons energy. You get the monthly thing, the monthly forecasts. I understand that my method of astrology is different. There's not many of us that practice this, and sometimes I think the universe has a funny way of throwing things in your lap. 16 years ago when this fell in my lap, I was like, maybe the universe is telling me, you're gifted witch. Maybe the universe is telling you to take another path esoterically. A lot of the witches that are in my circles have credentials and other things. They're not just witches. They're certified in Reiki, or I have one that is an energy healer and is certified in that energy healing. All kinds of things. There's other things that you can add to your arsenal of esoteric knowledge. So when I hear these little witches say, oh, the stars and the astrology, there's nothing powerful about them. Boy, that's a stupid comment. I'm not sure exactly, but I'm thinking as a direct result that what's going on in England, but we'll find out. Okay. I heard it. Oh my God, I want to say I heard it on the BBC, but Demon Fairy, I don't know where I heard it. I can't remember. But yes, look into it for me before I say any more. But I thought I heard something about them having issues with stocks and their bonds and the Australian dollar. Okay, Kate. I really appreciate that. You just said home and family. That's what I'm trying to get to. You're hitting my heart again. Oh, God. I'm sorry, babe. I don't mean to, but it is really about family. Focusing on the issues within the household. I'm going to give you guys a perfect example of something. Because I'm Capricorn, okay, this energy, this full moon energy is moving through my fourth house. Okay, this is the house of home, family, security, mother energy in some way. So I had a lot of work done on my house yesterday. It was not cheap. I ended up dropping like $1,000, and I'm not done yet. They're going to come back next week and finish something else for another $900. So it was not cheap, but I had to do it. And it was a celestial thing. Okay, so anytime if you are a January born Capricorn, this is one thing I'm going to tell you. Patreons know this. This is one thing I'm going to tell you. If you're a January born Capricorn, watch for fire in the home. Okay. Now, I had a premonition because when I bought this place, I knew I bought this place fairly cheap. Okay. I'm not a rich woman. A lot of the stuff I've done myself to remodel. I'm not an electrician. And one of my best friends who passed away 2 years ago, she was an electrician and she was going to come out here and do that. But unfortunately, the universe had other plans for her. I know it's in a good way. I love you, Kate. Just watch the home. Try to steer clear of any arguments within the home. Okay? Watch for fire in the home. Capricorn, January born Capricorns. This is something I'm telling you. So that's why I had the electricians here yesterday, because I've had a premonition for a while now that if I don't get this stuff done, I could have a fire in my house. And I don't want that. So if you follow the jurisdiction of the stars and you do things to protect yourself, they will protect you in the end as well. Okay. Another thing with Aries energy is people don't realize that Aries energy rules fangs, claws, and teeth. Our animals are just as much prone to the stars as we are. Okay. This is where people can get attacked by animals. So when you're on your walks, when you're doing something, just take precaution. I'm going to give you another example. I went down to check the mail last week, and my husband and I went together. It's about a quarter of a mile down the road. On our way back, the neighbor's German Shepherd had got out, and it could have been far worse than it was, but he attacked my husband. My husband's whole side of his thigh is bit up. Luckily, it didn't break skin, but he's pretty bruised. Now, I see little children riding their bikes here every day. That could have been horrible. My husband was operating on one of his unlucky biorhythm days. The moon was in Capricorn. He has a tail in Capricorn, one of his unlucky biorhythm days. Um, I went and pulled up the chart, and sure enough, it had gone right into effect right around the time he took that walk. So it's really important to know those biorhythm days, but animals are prone by Aries energy too. Cats, dogs, anything with teeth, claws, fangs, they're more aggressive. So just be aware of that because animals are under these stars as well. And what else? The only other thing I have to add, and I did not add this into the newsletter, but my produce, I'm selling produce now. No, my products in my store, the special had done so well, I decided to extend it. So if you go to this YouTube video where the description is, you'll see the fall 15 coupon. Like I said, I'm selling, you can walk away with probably $10 for probably $25, $30 worth of crystals for under 15 bucks. If you're looking for certain things, selenite. And it's making way for some of the newer stuff that I am going to throw in. Let me show you. Hold on. So these just arrived, and I'm going to be selling them. I got in, oh boy, excuse me. I got in blue lapis. Blue lapis is great for inner strength, inner workings. And I got a clear quartz, which is not here. This is all blue lapis. And as we move along, I'm slowly getting more and more in. I'm slowly starting to sell more and more jewelry. I do have a wholesale vendor up in Sedona. Now, I don't advertise who they are, and I'll tell you why I don't do that, because they don't sell wholesale to everybody. I just happen to be blessed that I have a friend who runs the place. So yes, if you're looking for crystals and stuff and any kind of, I've got Rose of Jericho's. I have some oils. I've got Venus oil, money drawing oil. I've got Archangel oil. If you're into protection, Archangel Michael oil is one of the most powerful protection oils. If you're into the archangels. So there's a lot of stuff in there that can refill your magical pantry. And I don't get a lot of business for products. You guys are like really missing out on product. I get them straight from either Azure Greens on the East Coast, or all of my crystals come from Sedona. So go check it out. Go check out my Astrology Witch Shopee and get an additional 15% off. If you have questions, I'm there to answer them. And as I get rolling, I'm going to start making more like homemade oils. But for now, I just put up I'm clearancing out. You know what these are, Kate, because I gave you one for your birthday. They're hematite bullets, and they're great for anxiety and panic attacks. Now, many, many years ago, I worked with a kid who suffered from ADHD, and he had it so bad that he would give himself panic attacks. And so I called his mother up after school one day and I asked her, hey, I'm really into crystals, is what I said to her. I'm really into crystals and gems, and I do believe that they possess energies that can help us. I go, is it okay if I give your son a couple of stones called hematite? And she, oh, sure, no problem. Now, I gave this kid 2 of those bullets, told him to keep one in each pocket, or at least keep them in his backpack. And when he starts to feel like he's having a panic attack, because sometimes he'd get so bad that he would start banging his head on the floor. Yeah, he'd get down on all fours and start slamming his head on the floor. And I'm like, oh, sweetie, we can't have you doing that. So I told her, let me just see if this works. And it could just be the psychology of it, thinking those stones are protection for him that helped. But it helped him. Panic attacks slowly started to subside. And when he did get them, he would grab them out of his backpack and put them in his pockets, go to recess, keep them in your pocket. Don't take them out and play with them, I kept telling him, because then you don't want other kids touching them. Then you're putting other kids' energy on those things. You touch them only. And it helped. Now, whether it was those stones or whether it was just the psychology of things where he thought he had this magical amulet to protect him, it turned him around. It helped him to focus in school, to do better, to be more grounded. And I always say the universe has a way of making us laugh, or has a sense of humor. This kid was a full-blown Aries. And at the beginning of my broadcast, I said I did not get along with Aries men. Yeah, it's kind of funny though. He very much Aries, but I'm going to tell you, the kid had a heart of gold. Heart of gold. Anytime a child cares that deeply for animals, there's nothing evil about him. So, with that being said, working with special needs kids has really enlightened me to how they vibrate. Their level of vibration is higher than the average souls. That's just my observation. And some really benefit from those stones and those energies. They can feel them. And all the kids I used to take care of and watch are probably, from what I've been told, because I'm not in California anymore, but they all tower over us now. So they're all growing and getting better, and that's a good thing. But yes, do check out the specials, please, because you really can get some crystals and stuff for an incredible deal. Um, Literally, just check it out. Check it out. And I should be back on here Monday because I do have a witch box to share with you for the month of October. So I have to go pick it up, but I'm going to go hiking today. But all of you out there, please have a great weekend. Be safe. Watch the news. It's going to get kind of crazy. I'm really, see? Yes, exactly. It helps. I know there's people out there that think crystals don't do anything, but believe it or not, it's my altar right there. Um, this is a conduit. This is energy. This is power right here. This is EMF energy, electromagnetic field energy. There's so many things you can do with quartz. Hi, sweet butterfly girl. How are you? A lot of things you can do with quartz. I just purchased a big old bag of quartz from my wholesale lender, and I actually, because I've been really doing a lot of spell work for people lately, so I love quartz too, and I've learned quite a bit on how to use quartz. Now, you believe it or not, you can use it for baneful stuff too. Um, but quartz is a conduit of energy. I actually put a few in my plants sometimes, like these little things. Sprinkle them in my plants just to give it a little energy. Um, my husband's the avid gardener, so he said it couldn't hurt. But quartz, definitely one of my favorites. Now, I was going to take off. I know everyone is sitting here waiting. I'm not going to pull cards for everybody today, but I am going to pull a card for the world at large, okay? I'll get back on here Monday, and I will pull some cards for you guys. I just don't have time to do it right now because I'm getting ready to go hiking. But I leave you with a Nostradamus deck card. Boy, I'm getting blinder and blinder as I get older and older, and it's just getting a little more disturbing. Hold on, you guys. Bear with me. I'm looking for something. It doesn't seem like my deck is that complete, and that's bothering me. Like it's missing something. I'm only working with the major arcana right now, and now I got to count my cards. I knew there was one missing. Okay, let's try this again. Here we go again. Shuffle real quick. Card for the world at large for this weekend and the full moon. Let's see what it has to say. Yeah, I love to hike. All right, here we go. And it was in reverse. Ooh. It is the Hierophant. This is the Nostradamus one. Nostradamus deck. But I got it in reverse. Hierophant is also known as the High Priest. It could be the Jupiter card in the deck. But when it is in reverse, it's about making bad decisions. Okay. This is about bad counsel, bad advice. Someone's giving bad advice to someone. And it's positive. It's usually about elder wisdom, high metaphysical knowledge, protection, but it's in reverse. So it's completely the opposite of protection. It's making the world at large very vulnerable. I wish I could have drawn a better card. That's another thing you get on Patreon. I pull tarot for the full and new moons, that you can see what's going on. So that's also added into the readings. Now, I'm not a religious person, but I'm going to say this. Pray over the weekend for peace. Because once that full moon in Aries hits, it could get violent. It could get volatile. And we're going into eclipse season as well. And I do not like what I am seeing for November 8th's election. It's another disturbing scenario. So, not a good thing. Unfortunately, our lives are in the hands of world leaders, and that's disturbing. Wish I had better news for you guys, but I don't. And it's just the way it is. There's nothing I can do about it. Be safe. Watch the road because of road rage. You're going to see people become unhinged these next few weeks with road rage. If you're going to cuss them out with the windows rolled up. There's a time and a place to cuss someone out. This is not the weekend to do it. Okay. All right, you guys have a great weekend. I will be back on Monday. All of you tuning in, thanks so much. Once again, check out my product and crystal special going on the astrologywitch.com astrology shoppy. Additional 15% off. That includes all clearance items. So, you can literally walk away with incense for $1 or $2. Crystals for $1. Literally. Go check it out. You would be insane not to. If you have a witch in your life or someone that's into crystals, my store is perfect for some Christmas shopping. So get on over there. I'll run a special too on TikTok about it. But all of you out there, you're welcome, Jessica. Kate, good to see you. All right, Kate, listen. I'm going to be gone for a couple hours, but if you need help maneuvering around that site, don't hesitate to ask me, okay? Sweet butterfly girl. I know it was short, but sweet. And I'll be back on Monday. So have a good, safe weekend, hon. And my beautiful demon fairy. So good to see you. Keep me posted on the economy down under. All of you out there, be good, be safe. Blessed full moon. This is going to be a good moon. It's all on how you use it and what you make of it. Put your intentions and your time into your household, decorating your home, getting it prepped for the holidays, for fall, taking care of your family, your mother energy, mother figure. All of that is blessed under these stars. I'll be back. Jessica, is the discount already included or do we need to enter a code? No, you do need to enter a code, and the code is fall 15. I'll put the code in here. However, Patreon, you guys get a whole nother code. Um, I think that's just for readings. I don't know if you are aware of this, Jessica, but there's a 20% off code that Patreons only can use. I don't know if I set it up for products. It's for readings and progressive readings and a tarot reading. So take advantage of that as well. I always get, that's one that never expires. I'll update that. Somewhere there is a 20% off coupon code, but the fall 15 is mostly for product. And like I said, you could walk away with some incredible deals. Like if you're looking for a Rose of Jericho, they're about the size of my fist or a little bigger. I know they sell between $5 and $7. Literally, you could probably walk away with one for $3 or $4. So this is your opportunity if you're into the magical stuff to restock your pantry. Incense. In fact, I'm throwing up some more incense today that are clearanced out that I found from Naga Champas. So I am going to be adding, but I've extended this sale because it was doing so well, um, through what is it? Oh God, next week, next Friday or something. So take advantage and keep me posted. If you guys have any questions, do not hesitate to ask. I will see you guys very soon. See you Monday, all. Ciao. Blessings. Be safe.